Hi, my name is Dominic, and I consider myself to be a music composer. And in the last vlog, uh, I was talking about this question about how we can learn to express feelings musically. And I talked about the discovery method and creating a vocabulary of chord progressions. I was going to talk about loops. I'll do that later on, much later on in another vlog. I just want to consider the third point, which is basically to get a bunch of solo instruments and sample libraries, and they are relatively cheap with Reason, and you even get solo orchestral instruments such as violins with Reason 6 upwards bundled free with the actual program. And you can actually look at try to express your emotions by referring to the different solo instruments. So I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the flute is mysterious and sexual, the clarinet is romantic, the trumpet is pious and religious and fanfarial, the solo violin is passionate, the solo cello is poignant and tragic, and the double bass, when you think of Wagner's Rheingold, and the theme of the giants, which is sort of menacing and plodding and lugubrious and ponderous. So if you're in a lugubrious mood, you could refer to the solo double bass to help you express that. Um, and I have here, actually talking about solo instruments, I have here from soundbites.com their complete early patches sound font library for Renaissance and late medieval music. These are all very rare instruments, and I'm just on the woodwinds here, and I'm in the process actually of loading all these instruments into the NNXT sampler instrument in Reason, and I'm on the Moek tenor. This is actually a Renaissance recorder, actually made specially for the sample library by a guy called Moek, and this is a consortium of Moek recorders, soprano being the highest, then discount, alto, and I'm just going to do the tenor. So all you do is you come to the tenor, double click there. These are all sound fonts, which load, of course, perfectly well into Reason. I think the presets are if you have an Akai sampler. Otherwise, you just choose samples. And here you have all the samples, and you just press Command A and then Enter, and they load straight away all of them into the NNXT sampler. And all you do is right click, and first, I'm not sure if you have to do this, auto lap chromatically. That gives you that display there. Right click again, set root notes from pitch detection, and then auto map across the keyboard. So obviously that's the tenor, and these are Renaissance medieval instruments, and I think that they're beautiful instruments. I'm absolutely crazy about this sample library, and I realise that Contact do libraries like this, and East West do as well, but at a premium price. This is €55 for 45 instruments, which is pretty good value, and I think if you wish to kind of express kind of fairly complicated emotions, I was thinking, I've been quite passionate about thinking about the Renaissance period in Western history, and the medieval period before that, of course, and early, mid, and late medieval periods, and that for the lives of everybody were incredibly tough. I mean, the average life expectancy was 40. If you're a woman, you could expect a child to die every single year. You had like 20 pregnancies and loads of stillbirths, and half your children would die before the age of 5. So this was a terrible and tragic reality of life in those days, right up, of course, till the 1890s, I suppose. And of course, life was brutal and very, very hard for the working person. Brutal and hard for men and women, chained to the agricultural cycle. And I think that above all else, Renaissance instruments and medieval instruments express very, very well a complex feelings of tragedy and poignancy, but also of struggle and hope and religious piety, because of course religion permeated every strata of society, and every consciousness of every man and woman and child was soaked in religion and in the belief in the hereafter and in a life a better life to come through the saving grace of Christ, or through the piety of Islam. Um, and you know, you got these beautiful samples here of this tenor recorder. And you can hear the sort of the groan of man. You can hear the struggle and the tragedy and the pain of existence, but also the joy as well. And you think of country dancing and the whole sort of rustic atmosphere. If you're in Oxford, England, and you go to the Oxford Experience, you can actually go into the medieval past and actually relive it and see all these amazing tableaux of life as it might have been in the medieval Oxford. And I think these Renaissance, these beautiful Renaissance instruments really capture and are very evocative of the time, and they're very, very good quality samples, only 16-bit, but you'd hardly notice. Beautifully sampled and very, very clean and very nice, you know. Just very quickly here on Winds 3, I've got you know, various things there, which actually, for some reason, are not. You know, you can start really composing straight away, and really getting into the medieval mood and the Renaissance mood, and really capturing life as it was, and this mixture of pain and pleasure and piety and poignancy, all coming together in these beautiful instruments. So check out Sound Bites, early patches, and really explore these beautiful sounds. They've got woodwinds, they've got strings, they've got hurdy-gurdy and all that kind of thing, and the lute, of course, all standard. And of course, people enjoyed this kind of music really from kings and queens down to the lowly serf. And in the Renaissance, you have the intellectuals, and you have, you know, going right up to Elizabeth I's court. You have Dee and Kelly and all that sort of astrology and all that kind of thing. It's a whole evocative period of time and very complicated emotions. So if you want to express and explore complex sort of blends of emotions that you can't really explain too well because they're all mixed up with each other, then check out Renaissance instruments, and really really go into that kind of area of solo instruments, and find your emotions by coming up with melodies that suit the particular instrument that you have loaded into your Reason sampler. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.